Welcome to Racing Podcast Express for this Monday, March 7th, and we'll go over the full results from this weekend as NASCAR heads to Las Vegas this past weekend. Cool race yesterday. A little bit of rain delay and wind was a factor yesterday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the sandstorm that moved in. So it made for some really cool racing this past weekend. You had Xfinity Series and Sprint Cup. Again, Xfinity and Sprint Cup next weekend as well. Trucks return in April 2nd, that's when the NASCAR heads to Martinsville. Now, this weekend coming up on Sunday, March 13th, is actually the season opener, IndyCar season opener with the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. And we'll go over all of the scheduling and such on Thursday. We'll also break down the races on Thursday as well, as we always do. We'll break down the races, get the racing schedule, driver standings, and some racing news, and we'll do all of that. Some weeks we might have a second with process of thinking about doing two racing podcast expresses Monday and Friday, because the problem issue is that Racing Podcast Full Throttle is getting really big, and we'll be talking about a lot of stuff, so we might branch off the segment that is the final stretch segment and actually do that portion on Friday with a Friday RP Express. We'll go over just the news, recap the schedule again, and whatever other stuff. So just to let you know about that. We might start doing it this week. Don't know yet. Not a lot of stuff this week coming up. Really, only two races this week. This past week, and we got 2 races this week coming up. So again, it's just gonna be Sprint Cup and Xfinity for the next 2 weeks. As next week will be actually week number 2 of the 3-week West Coast swing. So NASCAR heading to Phoenix this upcoming weekend. And the next week, the weekend after, will be the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. And then again, Martinsville, and that'll be the first short track of the weekend. And actually, I think it's let's see here. I believe it is the first, and I don't know if all three. Let me see. Fire up the old NASCAR app. Boy, this NASCAR app is awesome. I love it. So I get the race on TV, and I get all the notes and stuff as the race is going on. And the cool thing is that I could get communications from the officials, which makes it really cool because you actually hear the officials going back and forth and stuff, and you can also hear them giving out all the penalties. You hear them calling out 34 too fast, or they'll say, just call the car number 22 too many crew of the wall, pitting too soon, and such like that. So usually, and then so they go back and forth. It's pretty cool to listen to them. Yes, so. So next week would be the Good Sam 500 for Sprint Cup, and then the Xfinity event would be it's the Exalta Faster, Tougher, Brighter 200. That's the Saturday night race. The Saturday afternoon race. That's actually a 2:30 race, and then Sunday's race is at 3:30. And then on March 20th, it's the Auto Club 400. That should be a short. It's only 200 laps, so that should be an easy day at the office. And the NASCAR Xfinity Series 300 which will be March 19th. That one has 150 laps. That's March 19th to March 20th. And then April 8th. Okay, so this is where the schedule starts to gets a little funky. So April 2nd and let's see, April 3rd. So you actually have April 2nd, which is a Saturday race, and then April 3rd, a Sunday race. So now, okay, so usually like the season starts where you get all 3 seasons at the same track, the series at the same track. So Daytona, Atlanta, you had Trucks, Xfinity, Sprint Cup, same track. Now they're going to start splitting up. So now you got Xfinity and Sprint Cup this next 3 weeks, and then Trucks and Sprint Cup Series head to Martinsville. That'll be April 2nd and 3rd. It's actually an afternoon truck race and afternoon Sprint Cup race. And then actually April, and then you won't get Xfinity until April 8th. So actually, after this 3 weeks, Xfinity takes a week off. And then, so going down the list for a Sprint Cup, if you will, kill a little time. So April 3rd, the STP 500 in Martinsville. I'll just go over all the tracks, the upcoming tracks. Not all of them, but here's what's coming up for April. So it's Martinsville, Texas, and that's April 9th, and that is the race to watch. And this is the race I missed last year at this time. That was the Texas night race, and that's the Duck Commander 500, so April 9th. And this is Sprint Cup, is Texas. And then April 17th, it's Bristol Motor Speedway, and that's always a fun. So you got Texas, which is an awesome track, and then you got more short track racing as they head to Bristol April 17th. Then it's Richmond on April 24th. So you actually have back-to-back short track racing, and that's the April lineup. And then April 4, and then for Xfinity Series in April, they head to Texas April 8th, and then it's Bristol, and then Richmond, and then Talladega April 30th. They got Xfinity Series at Talladega April 30th. And May 1st is Sprint Cup, so there you go. Talladega is an awesome race. You know, Bill France, who built Daytona racetrack, the Daytona International, he built Daytona because he wanted the cars to go faster, to go fast. And then he wanted a track that was faster than Daytona, and he went and built Talladega. So that's pretty sick. So anyway, we'll get into that over time. So Monday we'll go over just the results, and then Thursday we actually break down all the races, go over race notes, which is usually fun, and that's Thursday 7:45. So here is full results from Xfinity and Sprint Cup this weekend. We'll start with Xfinity first, and these are the full results from the Boyd Gaming 300 from Saturday. Winner here, Kyle Busch in the number 18 car. And coming in second was Daniel Suarez in the 19, and Eric Jones in the 20. Said 18, 19, 20. Okay. Finishing fourth is Chase Elliott. Austin Dillon comes in fifth. Brandon Jones comes in sixth in a double 3. And Ty Dillon in the 3 comes in seventh. Eighth place is Elliott Sadler. Justin Allgaier comes in ninth. Brendan Gowen, he finishes in 10th. Finishing in 11th place is Brennan Poole. 12th is Eric Almirola. Ryan Reed finishes 13th. Ryan Sieg finishes 14th. Brad Keselowski finishes 15th. He was driving the double 2 again last Saturday. Ross Chastain, he finishes 16th. Jeb Burton 17th. Ryan Preece 18th. Corey LaHoy 19th. And finishing in 20th place in the 51 car is Jeremy Clements. Finishing 21st was J.J. Ely. Dakota Armstrong finishes 22nd. 23rd was David Starr. 24th, Garrett Smithley. Ray Black Jr. in the 07. He finishes 25th. Blake Koch finishes 26th. B.J. McLeod, 27th. Joey Gase in 28th place. 29th is Mario Gosselin. Stanton Barrett finishes 30th. Mike Harmon, who I believe is driving a Dodge Challenger, the 74 car, he finishes 31st. Harrison Rhodes finishes 32nd. Darrell Wallace Jr., Darrell Bubba Wallace, finishes 33rd. Big wreck on Saturday between I believe it was, who was it? That was a big wreck. Darrell Wallace got some major damage on Saturday. Who was the other guy that crashed? I want to say it wasn't the 7 car. I believe it was the 24 car. Corey LaHoy, or it was the 45. Now I forget, but it was a big wreck, and they brought out the red flag for a little while. And boy, when you see these cars wreck, man, especially when the outside of the car gets ripped off, all that's in there is roll bars and engine, and that's it. You know. So anyway, finishing 34th was Justin Marks in the 34 car. Cody Ware finishes 35th. Derek White 36th. Carl Long, he finishes in 37th. Josh Reaume finishes 38th. Morgan Shepherd 39th. And Jeff Green, he finishes in 40th place, and that is the Xfinity finish. final results, and then this comes to Sunday, which is the last night's race, the Cobalt 400. All right, and the winner here, Brad Keselowski, in the number one and the number 2 car. He is the winner right there. You had a battle between Ford and Chevy as Keselowski and Logano were fighting for first in the middle of yesterday's race, and then you had a battle between Ford and Toyota, which was pretty neat. Some hardcore racing yesterday. The wind gusts at Las Vegas yesterday. Wind gusts were at up to 50 miles an hour. Sustained winds was 25 miles an hour, and they had a little bit of delayed start because it was raining a little bit. So they finally got, and then they got the. It wasn't a long delay though; it was a short one, and started racing. And then the whole race was the wind, and then I think it was like the second to the last caution, or it might have been the last caution. That's when the sandstorm started moving in. And if you saw the race yesterday, for those who missed it, it looked like fog out there, and it was sand. It was pretty neat looking. So Brad Keselowski, the winner there on Sunday. Coming in second, his buddy Joey Logano in the 22 car. Finishing third would be Jimmy Johnson. Kyle Busch finishes 4th. Austin Dillon finishes in 5th place. Ryan Blaney finishes 6th. Ryan Blaney in the 21 car. Kevin Harvick, the Hot Rod, finishes 7th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes in 8th place in the Double 8 car. Kurt Busch finishes in 9th. Casey Kane, he would finish in 10th place on Sunday. Martin Truex Jr., he comes in 11th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 12th. Ryan Newman 13th. AJ Allmendinger 14th. Paul Menard in 15th place. 16th is Jamie McMurray. Trevor Bayne in 17th place. Carl Edwards finishes 18th. And Denny Hamlin finishes 19th. Greg Biffle finishes in 20th. Finishing in 21st is Danica Patrick. Clint Boyer, 22nd. 23rd is Casey Mears. 24th, Eric Almirola. 25th, Reagan Smith. 26th, Chris Bouchard. 27th, Brian Scott. 28th, Landon Castle. Finishing 29th, Michael McDowell in the 95 car. And then 30th place is Michael Annett in the 46. And in 31st is the 83 car driven by Matt DiBenedetto. Finishing 32nd is David Ragan. 33rd is Jeffrey Earnhardt. Kyle Larson, he comes in 34th. Josh Weiss, 35th. 36th place it was Brian Vickers in the 14 car. Finishing 37th, Matt Kenseth, the number 20. He had a wreck yesterday too. 38th was Chase Elliott. 39th, Cole Witt. For some reason, there's no one in the 40th spot. So, I don't know why, but they had it blank. So there you go. Alright, so we'll be back on Thursday, 7:45. Racing Podcast, Full Throttle, right here, apodradio.com. From New York, and here at the Skybox Podcasting Center, I'm my host, Manny Allegretto. Be good, be safe. And this has been RP Express.